Welcome into United Sessions, Season 3, Episode 7. I am David Carl. I am joined by my co-host, as always, Mr. Lucas Cash.
Hey, friend.
Hello, Lucas. Hello, all you New Mexico United supporters. Hello, all you Black Cats. We've got a few of you in the chat as well. We are live on Twitter, Facebook, and where else? Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yep.
We're live right now, and we'll have the podcast up tomorrow.
Yes.
Is the plan on all this. But we are excited to be joined today by two of our friends, Mr. Chris Hurst, Mr. Tyler Ortega. We had some big news today, gentlemen. Welcome in, first and foremost.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is a lot of fun.
Excited to have you guys here. We had some big news today, Lucas. Announced an international friendly, second one in the history of the club of New Mexico United. And it's against a team that Mr. Hurst knows relatively well. What club is that, sir?
The Red and White Wizards, you know, the only team that really matters in the world. Most famous team in the world. Best team in the world. Should I go on?
Yeah, no, keep going. I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm out.
I was just going to say, are we going to slowly devolve more into statements and they get more and more questionable?
Well, yeah, Sunderland AFC is the opponent for New Mexico United. Match going to be played in July at Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park. Again, the second international friendly in New Mexico United's history. In 2019, we played against Cardiff City, 1-1 draw. Goal, Mr. Kenny Akamatsu. Shout out, Kenny.
Kenny, we miss you and we love you.
New Mexico United legend.
Love Kenny Akamatsu.
Kenny Akamatsu.
Gentlemen, how are you feeling in the wake of this news? And Tyler, no offense, I'm going to start with Hursty on this.
None taken.
How are you feeling when you heard the news? And we have a video of that, by the way.
I was going to say.
When you heard the news, how were you feeling? What was your reaction? And you can take us through what you thought before you heard the news, too, if you want.
Well, like how you guys got me into the building.
How he lied to you,
okay,
I guess.
So Tyler called me on Tuesday, I think it was, like, hey, international friendly coming up, have to be, hush hush. It's QPR. I'm like, no way, Sunderland's playing QPR today. I'm going to go home and watch it. Like, well, I can't believe this guy. There's trust issues now, for sure. So I did a bunch of research, which you guys have all had a good laugh at. That I know
This was in-depth stuff.
I know lots
so
about
good.
QPR now. I really do. So we turn up, we start shooting the video, and I have never seen Tyler so nervous in my life. So that kind of threw me off a bit. His lip was quivering. I've never seen that before. So I'm like, we had to wait for Ron Patel to get here. I'm like, some of the big dogs are here. Like, okay, what's going on?
Ron.
And then Tyler does the intro and he's like, Netflix stars of the Netflix documentary, Sunderland, how do you think we'll match up? And I'm like, and the first thing that popped in my head was he got the date wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the team, it was the date.
Well,
1866
yes,
is QPR
yes.
and 1879 is Sunderland. So, and I'm so mad at myself that was the first thing that came into my head. And then I'm like, Sunderland? Like, no, it's QPR. And he's like, no, how are we going to match up? And then it started dawning on me. And then, as you guys know, it's not like I'm short of a few words most of the time. I just didn't know what to say.
You were a bit speechless.
Yeah, no, because it's been, I think I said, so if I've done my math right, this is the jersey of the year, the last time I got to watch them play, which is 2010. So yeah, it's been donkey's years since I last saw them play in person, other than on my little laptop
said, what,
screen.
2010?
2010.
Yeah.
2010, December 2010 was the
He
last time I
said
saw them play.
donkey's years.
I did say
Yeah,
donkey's
sorry.
years. That's-
Apologies.
yeah.
A familiar mathematical quantity for all of us.
You knew exactly what I meant, though,
Yeah,
right?
It's like a
Exactly.
metric
Okay.
shit ton.
Whoa, get the E ready,
Yeah,
y'all.
there you go. Just had to get that out of the way.
No, but what's really exciting about this one, we did, as Dave mentioned, host Cardiff in the past, but we did that over at the UNM Soccer Complex. Big shout out to them. I think it was a great event. We loved it, but there's just something different about being in the lab. There's something different about you guys being in the booth. T.O., what are you looking forward to the minute those internationals come out on that field? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, well, I think this is actually the first time we're making mention that Chris and I will be in the booth for this game.
That's right.
So,
Spoiler alert.
Tyler leaks.
spoiler alert, making our international broadcast debut.
Hey.
So, first off, I know I'm just crazy excited. We weren't able to be in the broadcast booth, when Cardiff were here back in 2019. But for a club like Sunderland, for what it means to my friend Chris Hurst here, I think just all things considered, it's just going to be an incredible time. The people of New Mexico being able to see one of the storied clubs in English football coming here to their backyard. Lukas, you and I grew up here, and if you would have told me this in 2010, the last time Chris Hurst watched Sunderland play, that we would be seeing them playing here in our backyard, I would have said you're crazy.
Yep.
But it just speaks, it speaks volumes to the club, the league, the fan base that we have here, everything. And I'm super excited for Chris, to be honest.
Can I just add to that crazy sentiment? If you'd said that I would be commentating on a Sunderland game.
Yeah, that's. I wanted to hit on that, right?
It's absolutely insane.
So I'm a diehard Arsenal fan, right? Have been since I was a little kid. If you had told me one day that I would be in any way involved in the production of an Arsenal match, I would have lost my mind, right? Like, there's no way that would have ever happened. I cannot imagine. Again, it's one thing as a fan, right? You're a fan of the club. Oh my God, Sunderland's coming here. That's so exciting. But you're going to be actually calling the match. What is that like for you?
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Like all the podcasts that I listen to back home, like if I mess it up, I'm going to get absolutely caned. Like,
so if there's anybody listening, he is not at Chris Hurst 82 on Twitter.
Well, you're gonna break out like all the old aphorisms from back home. You're gonna just really call it like you're back in.
I just hope that. I just hope I can hold it together.
Yeah.
We're talking about, as soon as it kind of started sinking in, I said, man, I've got some like song suggestions for before the game, make it feel like we're back at the Stadium of Light.
Well, here's the thing. You're calling the match. This is a New Mexico United broadcast. I want to be very clear. I just want to be very clear on that. You can wear your red and white in the booth, but when they score, you're not cheering. Come on. Come on.
No, there's no promises there whatsoever. Absolutely. I believe I was in fact told that I had to be unbiased. So I'm definitely not going to
be maybe Dave, it's that he is allowed to cheer for Sunderland. Absolutely.
How about
you better do it with the same gusto.
All right.
If United scores.
Yeah, United scores, it's just as exciting.
It's going to be weird. Like it is absolutely,
Well, one of the questions we had gotten from somebody online early in the day, and sorry, I don't remember who asked this question, was who is Hursty going to be cheering for?
It was Adam Deal.
Was it Adam Deal? And I think we know the answer to that, don't we?
Yeah.
Judging by what you're wearing at the moment. And for those of you listening on the podcast the next day and not on the live stream, it is a very red and very white Sunderland AFC kit from 2010.
But whilst he swills a black and yellow beer.
It's true.
Who does this guy think he is?
Equal opportunities,
until you get in the booth.
Until I get in the booth. And like I say, it's just going to be, again, like watching the games this year here, and Frankie Francis and Danny Collins are the two guys who do the announcing for Sunderland right now, and just listen to those guys, and it just dawned on me over the weekend. I was like, holy cow, we're going to be doing that.
Well, you better be hitting them up to get spotting boards
and
some notes.
Why? This might be the one game where you actually don't need to speak.
Did you see his QPR notes? He's got it. I got it.
Like,
I don't know what you're going to do, but
did you
guys switch roles? Did he say, look at me now?
Yeah,
look at me
I guess
now.
so.
I'm the play-by-play announcer.
That's it. It's going to be like, look, if there's nothing to talk about in the game, I can tell you about, when I cried when we lost to Charlton, when I cried when we lost to, I'm just telling you all these stories about how hard it's been being a Sunderland fan for so many years.
And that's the thing, right? Normally in a broadcast, you play-by-play, obviously calling the action on the pitch. And then, there's a lull. Color commentary comes in with some sort of either a story or a reference or, I noticed this on the pitch. That's going to last for like 5 minutes straight, and Tyler's not going to do any play-by-play.
And that's where he's going to get clipped by the podcast.
I was going to say, and that's where, I was worried about that today as well. It's like you guys might have to, I don't know how long we got, but if you want stories, I got stories. So yeah, this may be one where Tyler can just sit back, because I love when I do it all the time just to mess with him. And, he like asks a question, and I'll just nod. And he's like, all right, thanks, man.
They can't hear you.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Well, you're a better man than I for being in the booth. Carlos Tenorio, Sombrero Man, asks in the chat, David, if we ever played Arsenal, what would you do? And honestly, Carlos, my answer to that is I don't think I would work that day. I would take the day off and go be a fan. I don't know
if I tell you yet, by the way.
Oh, okay. It looks like we'll be in the booth, Tio. But no, I honestly think that I would. And I'd wear black and yellow and red and white. I don't know how I'd manage the two of those things at once. So I'm not envious of you, but at the same time I am. It's a bit of both.
It's a tough proposition, but I think you actually worked out a great solution for yourself personally in this whole paradigm. So you will be calling the game in New Mexico, but that does not preclude you from getting to be a fan.
No, exactly. Yeah, I've already I booked the hotel today to get out to San Antonio to watch them down there. So I worked out it's about a 10-hour drive roughly. I've never been.
It's a great town.
So that's turned into a family vacation. The kids are going to love it.
Enjoy, kids.
This is for you, kids. kids.
Hey, there's Six Flags right there. No.
San Antonio in the middle
Toyota
of
Field.
of
You
the
go
middle of
ahead.
July.
You go ahead and you go to Six Flags. Dad's gonna go to the match.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There you go. Have a couple tinnies. It'll be fun.
Two separate itineraries that he distributes upon flight.
Luis Arzola asked what part of England you were born in.
I was actually born closer to Newcastle. Like my whole family's actually Newcastle fans. So, I'm hoping that Man United tonk them this weekend.
Well, Liverpool did this past.
Yeah, no, that was fun as well.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's a shame that the Newcastle goalkeeper gets a red card and misses Wembley. It's the first time they've been to Wembley in, like 5,000 years.
And they'll be on their third goalkeeper because their second goalkeeper is not eligible for the FA Cup.
Karius is goal, right? Yeah. No, I did. Yeah, it's
a shame.
It is a shame. It's a crying shame.
It's a real
This section brought to you by dorks.
So yeah, I was actually born in a little town called Hexham, which is just west of Newcastle. So the town I was in was pretty much 90% Newcastle fans and 10% with our eyes open. So
well, I mean, take us through a little bit. So part of what we wanted to talk about is you as a Sunderland fan again, not just Chris Hurst now again excited to call the match, but Chris Hurst growing up that Sunderland fan. What was that like for you? Again, you mentioned part of the 10%, not the 90% in town, but what was it like growing up in England, in Hexham, being a Sunderland AFC supporter?
Yeah, well, so the town I was actually, that was where I was born, was Hexham. I'm actually from a town called Prudhoe, or Prudhoe as we knew it. But yeah, there was a lot of fights, a lot of Mickey taken. I had to live through the years of Kevin Keegan when they were good. Looks like those years are coming back for them as well. So I'm glad I live over here. I don't have to deal with too many mags over here, But started going to the games when I was 9. I think it was like the 91, 92 season. We had an FA Cup run. We actually played Liverpool in the FA Cup final. That was my first season. I got a tiny little gold card. I have no idea how much it cost, but basically I showed that whenever I went in the turnstiles at Roker Park, which is the old stadium. And it got me in for, I can't remember if it was £1 or £3 or £5, but it was something. And it had VIP written on it. And now, growing up, I was like, I was like, it meant absolutely nothing. But I was like, hey, look at this.
I'm very
this is awesome. So
the coin speaks to it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then, got my season ticket when, I can't remember what year my first season ticket, I think it was when we first moved to the Stadium of Light, Northeast Corner. And I had to give it up when I moved to Albuquerque in 2004. So I had my 19-year anniversary last week. And that was mid-season. So I actually gave up my season ticket mid-season. And every time I went back for Christmas and things, tried to catch games. And the last time I was back was when me and my wife were engaged. And took her to a game, freezing cold. Blackpool, Steve Bruce was in charge. Asamoah Gyan, Darren
Sounds
Bent.
Romantic.
Oh, she loved it.
Chanel and I went to see Arsenal on our honeymoon. So I'm right there with you. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, Tyler, you are notoriously a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Again, not currently in the same division, but could very well be, by the way, very soon.
Look out.
Currently top of the championship, our Sunderland AFC.
Not top. No, we're in the playoffs. Like we actually just dropped a place. Like about 2 hours ago, we dropped a place because someone else won. But it's really tight. It's a nuts league. The championship. It was insane.
Tyler, in the booth, do you guys chat at all about EPL or EFL championship or anything like that?
Yeah, we do a little bit. We don't do a lot of it on air. Mainly just because from my perspective as the play-by-play, you got to let the game be the star, right?
Sure,
like that's why everyone's tuning in. So every now and then, Chris will slide in an offhanded comment about Spurs, and I
love him for it.
I typically don't acknowledge it, and we just keep going. But there is quite a bit of talk prior to kickoff when our good friend Andy Hageman comes in from next door from the ESPN radio side, and with what's going on the West Ham.
And I would say you guys beat them 2-0 this week.
Yeah, exactly. And signed yesterday at the preseason match. And so, there's a little bit of chatter. I think more so, our discussions we get there like right around the times that lineups are coming out and stuff. And so we're all trying to get our heads together, trying to figure out how we're going to line up, how the opponents are lining up, all of that fun stuff.
Well, and speaking of how New Mexico United is lining up, preseason match yesterday, Tyler, you were there. What did you take away? What did you see? What did you think?
Yeah.
3-1 win over El Paso, by the way.
3-1 win over El Paso. Aside from what happened on the field, how about a shout out to the 400 plus of the black and yellow family?
Terrible weather.
Come on.
It was freezing. 400
plus. It was so cold. It was windy out there. We're 2 months away from seeing the guys here at the lab. And we had a strong showing as always from our black and yellow faithful. So first off, big shout out to them.
Amen to
and we've got another one Saturday. don't want to let that slide by anybody there. But
Saturday, 3 p.m. at the First Financial Training Center, same place against CSU Pueblo. It's the Lamar Bynum Derby.
There we go.
oh, there we go. I like it.
Yeah.
The Barbie.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but I think yesterday we had a little bit of everything. I was texting Chris and Adam as the game was going on and just providing sort of updates. And next thing you know, it's 3-1 and El Paso's down to 10 men. Yuma's got a red card.
In true Yuma fashion.
In true, 23 minutes in. And
He's in mid-season form.
Whenever he retires, we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss that guy.
So bad.
it was incredible, man. But I think from what we did see on the field, those guys are looking good, man.
Yeah.
Those boys in black and yellow are looking pretty good.
I mean, undefeated through 4 matches. Again, preseason results don't actually matter. What matters is how they're playing, right? What matters is how they're gelling. And I mean, they're scoring goals. Defensively, they've looked terrific. I thought yesterday, despite the fact they gave up the 1 goal, but I mean, guys like Austin Yearwood, Kalen Ryden, Timothy Zali. I mean, defensively, these guys look solid. Not to mention the fact that you guys got guys like Christian Nava, Alex Wagner, Chris Wehan in the second half, Amanda Moreno. I mean, all these guys, not to mention a couple trialists and academy players, really playing solid football.
Yeah, they're great and they're deep. And like it was I mean, I have experienced a lot of preseason matches. I've experienced a lot of matches, but that was like one of the most dominant performances I think I've ever seen.
It was fun.
I've got one shout out to give, and I'm from Santa Rosa, New Mexico, small town New Mexico kid. Shout out to Alex Wagner. The pride of Taos, New Mexico, scoring yesterday against El Paso.
First professional goal.
Are you kidding me?
And it was emphatic, right? Oh, first of all, beautiful.
Wasn't even close.
He looked incredible.
Yeah.
What a ball from Suggsy. Whipped in from about 30 yards out, curls onto his head, and then the emphatic header over Yuma, by the way. I think that's what initially riled Yuma up. Wagner skies over him and just emphatic header home. It was beautiful.
Well, and we love that. We love the goal, right? And I'm not saying anything about Alex Wagner doing something deliberate to get Yuma sent off. I think he was just playing good.
Why would you?
I think he was playing good, hard New Mexican football.
Yeah.
High press, got under his skin.
Yeah.
So bigger accomplishment, Tio, before we go into the break. The goal, the beautiful header goal, we're sending Yuma into the locker room early.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm gonna go with drawing the red. I'm gonna go with drawing. That's a savvy veteran move from an 18-year-old, man.
It was well done. And I will say, as soon as it happened, Wags knew exactly what he was doing. So he was like, he kind of put a finger in his face and then he started riling up the crowd.
Yep.
I mean, that is some veteran savvy from a young rookie. I loved that. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with a lot more. We've got some questions in the chat here. If you have questions for either of our guests, put them in the chat. We'll be right back. We're going to try and play this video of you being surprised. See if it works here, Hursty. We'll be right back with more United Sessions. Stick around. We just played the whole video here in studio, and
we're
nobody on the
laughing
podcast heard it
so hard.
All right, we're gonna try it again on the next break, but the video's funny. Hursty was a little upset, but also excited at the same time. We'll play it for you.
Who did the closed caption?
That was I believe that was Jacob.
Because I definitely didn't say that word.
Oh no! Well, here we are. Maybe we shouldn't play it then. All right,
He's gonna get us in trouble.
we'll hold off. Adam Deal says in the chat, absolutely ridiculous of Hurst to wear that on air tonight. What do you have to say to Adam Deal about that?
Jealousy gets you nowhere, mate.
Adam's at home just stirring the pot, man.
I love this. Andrew Larkin, rather, in chat says, Sunderland take over everywhere we go. Nearly 3,000 at Rotherham tomorrow. How are the lads?
Yeah, big game tomorrow against Rotherham. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
I mispronounced that. Sorry,
It's all
Rotherham. If you could bring, here's Luis Arzola. If you could bring a Sunderland player to New Mexico, what player would you bring?
Well, then they'd have to stop playing for Sunderland, though.
Let's just say you could clone them.
All right, fair
We'll
enough.
go with that.
Right now, it's
Good solution,
be,
Dave.
Patrick Roberts.
Okay.
Patrick Roberts. Yeah, so he was.
That means nothing to me.
It will.
Yeah.
He's a wizard. So he plays on the right. He cuts in on his left, and everyone knows he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And you still can't stop him.
Okay. It's kind of that reminds me of Santi Moar, except the opposite.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
he's gone his left, cuts in on his right. Everybody knows he's going to do it, and they can't stop him.
Yeah. So years ago, so when he was young, he was sold to I think it was Man City for
Ooh.
crazy money. And
Yep.
he's one of those players who maybe lost his way a little bit, and he's come back to Sunderland. We got him in League One, which is unbelievable, and he's just unreal. He's unbelievable to watch. Yeah.
We got a lot of love here in the chat for Alex Wagner. Robert Romero says Wagner is built different. He's correct. New Mexican to New Mexican on that goal is
Yes.
what Clint Gray says.
The connection.
Love it.
Wagner going to be a beast this year from Rusty de Blase. I hope I pronounced your name right, Rusty. So we got, a lot of people pumped about Wags. A lot of people pumped about the current form for United in the preseason. And again, gents, we are less than a month away from the regular season. I'm going to throw that out there. Less than a month.
It feels like a bit longer, but I feel like it's maybe because we're waiting so long to get a home game. I don't know. But I feel like it's sneaking up on us.
It's going to be here fast. And I mean, we'll be on the road for the first 2 weeks,
Yep.
And we've got a bye week or two in there as well. But I mean, we open up in mid-April at home. Excited for that to get the ball rolling here. Oh, got another one in chat here from DJ Ortiz. Howdy, gents. The vibe at the match was awesome. Great to see everyone's faces. I want to get out on the golf course with Lucas Cash Money. And the one and only Tiger Woods. P.S. You must still. I'm not going to say that word. We're gonna leave it there.
we can definitely play golf with myself and Tyler Woods over here. We can definitely get that set up. But to Dave's point, transitioning a little bit about away from the big announcement that we had today, what are you guys seeing from this preseason form, but just from the roster alignment, from things you saw last year, right? I don't think it can be overstated. You guys have been in the booth with us from the beginning. You weren't the full-time team in year one, but you filled in for us on a hurricane day. So you've been watching this team from day one. What's the difference going into 2023?
So for me, and it's hard to say something about this new group without sounding like you're being mean or disparate about players in the past, which that's certainly not the case. But the thing that's exciting for me is I feel like last year, the staff were always trying to find that balance between keeping it tight at the back and being expansive going forward. And it's a really hard balance.
I feel like every manager in the world has to work on that balance.
100%, 100%. And just it seems like there's been a massive injection of, I don't know if it's flair's the right word or pace, but in terms of attacking, like that just seems like that's been a massive change or a massive shift this year, where they're still, like you said, they still look like they're going to be really solid at the back, but it looks really exciting going forward as well.
I mean, Austin Yearwood, Kalen Ryden had themselves a day yesterday. They were phenomenal. I mean, diving in front of shots. I mean, Zach Prince has talked about a few times already this preseason what he calls fighting football. Yep. He wants New Mexico United to play fighting football, and I think that was the definition of it. Just again, putting your body on the line in front of shots. And by the way, this is preseason. This isn't a point where the points even matter, and they're still playing that fighting football. Right. It's a good sign, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited, and like a guy like Kalen Ryden, who came in year two, and he's just been a rock in the back line. He's going to be there when you can rely on him. Austin Yearwood dealt a little bit with injuries last year. Some could say the previous season, 2021, he was arguably our best defender. And so having these guys back, having them healthy, Will Seymour settling in for his second year. I thought he was phenomenal last year. I think I'm really excited to get Harry Swartz back. See him bombing down the wings with Daniel Bruce.
How about a full season of Amando Moreno?
Mondo, I was about to get there. Mondo looked great yesterday. Yep. He is getting back up to full speed. And then, I mean, you want to throw in Greg Hurst. You want to throw in Santi. You want to throw in Bees. You've got
Doling.
Nava. You've got Doling. I know last year, like Hursty said, right? This isn't a slight to the guys that have been here, but last year we struggled to score goals. You know, there was only a couple of times where I think we scored 3 or more goals in a single match.
Twice.
And so, yeah. And so, looking at some of the attacking options and what we've seen thus far in some of our preseason results, it's promising.
Well, huge testament to the technical staff, huge testament to the additions they've made to that.
100%.
Our medical staff is going to be crucial in making sure these guys stay out there. Because to you guys' point, not disparaging anyone, but injuries were an issue last year.
Well,
right?
and our roster is smaller this year.
Right. And so
something
we've got to
point
be
out, too.
healthy. We've
Yes.
got to stay tight. But I'm just telling you, yesterday to me was a testament of the technical team's offseason efforts, whether that's in training, whether that's in preparation, whether that's in recruitment. My goodness gracious, what an exciting group to see.
And I think the thing is like we were touching on how good the defenders were, how good the attackers were. We didn't even talk about Justin Portillo in the midfield.
Yeah, of course.
Like we've got options there as well.
Well,
And so
and not just JP either. How about a guy who's currently on a trialist contract, Michael Vaparlo.
Right.
Came in from the Polish First Division, made his debut last year. He's 19 years old, tall, lanky, fast, and he's got a motor for days.
He looked pretty good yesterday.
He looked very good yesterday. So I'm excited to see, if we do sign him full time, what he's going to bring as well. Again, 19 years old. He's a kid, and he already looks a man. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. It's funny, again, a smaller roster, but it feels like we're a little bit deeper.
Right.
Which I know sounds counterintuitive, but when you've got the talent there, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff to see. We got a couple more questions in chat. We asked you the question earlier, Hursty, which Sunderland player would you like to see with United?
My kid's mad I didn't say Ross Stewart, by the way. I got a text saying my 10-year-old, or about to be 10-year-old, is really upset I didn't say Ross Stewart.
Well, we have the opposite question from Clint Gray, who says, what player from United would you like to see with Sunderland? Again,
Shout
assuming
out
you can
Clint.
clone.
Shout out
Clint Gray.
It's all hypothetical.
Top tier Clint.
I'm going to go, holy cow. Let's go Portillo. And that's because there's a need for it at Sunderland right now.
Okay. They need that distributor in the midfield.
Our destroyer, our distributor, like you say, Corey Evans, he got injured like a month ago, let's say.
Okay.
So now Sunderland is full of 21-year-old players, which they're doing great, unbelievable, but he was the guy who kind of held it all together and was a little bit of experience when people were maybe losing their heads. So we need someone with a bit more experience. So yeah, I'll go with JP.
Yeah, JP comes in late in that game, right? Which I love that. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I don't know if this is what you should do tactically. I'm relatively new to the game, but the fact that
10 subs in the 60th minute is not tactically what you typically do.
But I'm saying it's subs that get a lot of minutes, people that you can look in the history books and have put a lot of stats on, and just to see it closed out in that way, and just to see how poised everything was, soup to nuts, right? There was not a point anytime watching that where I was just like, oh man, I think this one may get away from him. It was dominant.
It felt good. It felt good throughout. Another question here. Well, not a question, but a statement from Ron Patel. I think you guys know him.
I saw his name pop up there.
Said, can't understand the guy in red. Can he speak with a more posh accent?
I'm sure didn't Ron do the closed captioning? Is that?
That's right. That's right. Any idea what day the Open Cup match will be played on? We don't know yet, Carlos. We will let you know when we know. Luis Arzola, I really like the point he makes here. What I love is that Zach is using young players, not afraid to use these academy boys, not afraid, academy men, really, not afraid to use these academy men, not afraid to use these trialists. Some of them, again, we mentioned Michael Vaparlo, are very young. How crucial, Tyler, in your mind, is making sure that we have, the right infusion of youth in the season, in the team as well?
Yeah, I think it's big, right? And I think just when you look at the home stretch of the last 2 seasons and you see how some of the age on our roster and the injuries that followed sort of affected the outcomes of the season, I think that in itself just sort of tells you, how paramount that is. But I think further from that, when, the youth of New Mexico are able to see Christian Nava or the other New Mexicans progressing through the academy system,
Alex Wagner,
made possible by the Somos Unidos Foundation, by the way, shout out.
Yeah.
When you see
sporting
them,
that logo,
sort of making their way up and seeing that it's possible, it offers that sort of inspiration that really can't be measured.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that's right. And Lucas, you combine that with the experience of guys that, by the way, are not old, they're just experienced. And there's a difference between those two. We have plenty of experienced players who are in their absolute prime. Guys like Justin Portillo come to mind, guys like Kalen Ryden, guys like Austin Yearwood, Will Seymour. Like these are guys.
Alex Tambakis.
I mean, one of the best goalkeepers in the league for my money. But you get these guys who are really in their prime. These guys are at their peak. I mean, as far as I can tell, and I'm no expert. And then you combine them with this infusion of youth. And then I love what you said, Tyler, this New Mexican infusion of youth. How can you not be inspired as a New Mexican by a guy like Alex Wagner and a guy like Christian Nava?
A word you used earlier that I really liked was a fearlessness. I don't know exactly who brought it up, but there doesn't seem to be any worries about what someone else would think about what we're going to do with this roster. And I think that's always been a uniquely New Mexican trait, right? Call it the chip on the shoulder, call it just being gritty and tough and growing up in the land of enchantment. But that's what I sort of saw embodied. Like there wasn't a moment of fear in the individuals that were going out there or making 10 subs in the 60th minute. Like we played that match exactly how we wanted to do it. And that's always been one of my favorite things about communicating with the coaches is like, there's objectives when you go into preseason matches.
Of course.
Like obviously it's cool to be El Paso 3-1. I don't know that was the objective that they wrote on the board. I don't know what those objectives were, but I'm reasonably confident that they accomplished them. And like when they went back and then they said, that's what we wanted to get out of this.
100%. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. We got a lot of, I think, Black Cats here in the chat.
What up, Black Cats?
How the lads?
Ooh.
Someone in the chat, I'm going to pull it up here. Give me a second. Someone in the chat was asking, once they want you to dive into, here it is, Rusty is wondering if you can dive into the Newcastle Sunderland rivalry.
I mean, it was a little different for me just because of where I grew up, so everyone who supports Sunderland hates Newcastle. Some hate Middlesbrough as well, but it's not really a derby.
Okay.
But Middlesbrough fans like to think it is. I hope there's a Middlesbrough fan about to go in there.
There's not. There's absolutely not a Middlesbrough fan.
I don't imagine there's any Borough fans in New Mexico, but and yeah, so like
the internet doesn't reach there anyway.
You said that. I didn't. Just to be clear.
I mean, it's right there. It's right there. No,
it's the smog. My sister lives there now, it's like I gotta be somewhat nice. So like my grandparents were Newcastle, my dad was Newcastle. The week after I went to my first Sunderland game, he dragged me to Newcastle game, was like, I'm turning you back. Like,
but why
can't happen.
But why Sunderland for you then? Why Sunderland?
So it was my neighbors, they now live like my best friend growing up, they now live in Perth, Australia. And her dad, from Sunderland, Pennywell, I think it was. And it was like, do you want to go to a game? I'm like, no, I'm a Geordie like my dad. And I was young and stupid and hadn't opened my eyes yet. He's like, just come. And I went, I think it was Bristol City or Bristol Rovers was my first game. Roker Park, I was in the Fulwell end. And I came back and I told my dad, I was like, I'm a Mackham. He's like, no, you're not. And off I went to the Gallagher end the next week. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, Dad, I'm still a Mackham. And he's like, shh,
you can't say that here.
Yeah, let's settle down. But no, so it's just, it is because the towns are so close. It's like, Albuquerque and Santa Fe having two massive clubs going against each other kind of thing. Like even closer than that. Like it really is actually closer than that. And it's just a hatred.
I just need to point out that I have understood 100% of every colloquialism that Chris Hurst has used.
How about colloquialism?
All of them.
Okay.
That one as well.
I haven't understood that word, but
no.
Really
there were a number of words in there that I was like, yep.
Robert Romero comments middle of the Tablesboro.
Wow.
Well, not right now.
Ooh.
Michael Carrick's gone in there and he's absolutely, I mean, they've only lost one game and that was against the Red and White Wizards. Just saying.
Yeah. But so you go to a Newcastle match, you go to a Sunderland match. What stood out to you at the Sunderland match that made you say, Dad, I'm a Mackham?
Well, no, I mean, that was the first professional game I'd ever gone to. So
and you
the
were just hooked
atmosphere
in
was
that moment.
the pre-match in the bar at 9.
Yep.
As
the way it should be.
Yeah,
the way it should
and
be.
all that stuff, right? And it's just, the buzz, like the smell of the pies and everything. It's just, the Bovril. It's like everything like that. It's just, that's what it is.
Bovril, yeah.
You know what Bovril is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I can tell if you're being sarcastic. I'll get you one. You'll love it. Beef soup without the beef. Just tastes like it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great on a cold day. But so
it's your green chili stew.
It is. Yeah, just with nothing
with
in
no
it.
green chili.
It's brown water that tastes like
Broth.
beef. It really is that. Like, that's really what it is.
Right.
Seriously, I need to get you one. But yeah, no, that was it. And then it just stuck, and so I started going to all the games, finally got my season tickets. And I mean, you know, I remember the time I came back after a Sheffield United game where Sunderland were going to the playoff final against Charlton, which we won't talk about that right now. And I came back and I was just buzzing. I was like, I'm going to Wembley. I'm going to Wembley. And the first thing my dad said was like, you're drunk. I was 15, I think. And I was like, no, I'm just buzzing. Like, no, this is just immense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a bug. You catch it, right?
I love it. I love it. Also, magpies are the worst birds.
You know,
they like mess up your garden. For
years, I was not allowed to go to the derby games. Like those were because there was always trouble.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
So it wasn't until I was a little older where I started, and I never managed to get tickets for the ones at Newcastle. It was always just at the Stadium of Light.
That's probably for the best.
All my friends were Newcastle, so I'd even see them coming in the police convoy. I'd stand and wait for them, and you know, flip them off and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I'd have a pint with them. It's
Chris, you're making a sociological point. I think Dave was just trying to point out the biological point that magpies, in and of their essence as a bird, are terrible.
I don't have any issue with Newcastle fans. It was literally the birds.
okay,
They're the worst birds. They are.
See,
birds.
I mean, I hear the word magpie. I assume that you mean the team, and they suck. So
I mean, fair play. No,
Thank you for all the magpies joining us on this.
No, I was merely talking about the birds that are mean and nasty. Andrew Larkin says Bovril, a pink slice, and cheesy chips.
Oh,
that's gonna mean something to you. Yeah.
Cheesy chips on Wembley away. Yeah, it's a thing.
What's a pink slice?
Hallway the lads.
It's like a cake, I guess.
Oh,
That's
I like
probably
that.
the best way to
I like
describe
that.
it.
It all seems very literal.
Yeah, but
Pink
Bovril,
slice.
honestly, I have to get you a Bovril. Like, it's going to blow your mind.
I mean, I'm a big.
Literally, it might literally blow your mind. But yeah,
But you're telling me it's a brown broth.
yes.
Okay.
I love
I'm
meat
skeptical.
pies. I love meat pies.
Yeah.
I could have meat pies every meal for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Is it almost stupid silly game time?
It is. We're going to take a quick commercial break without any commercials in it because nobody wants to sponsor us.
Come on, guys.
But I'm going to try for the second time. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to share it because it might have a curse word.
It might just have a bad caption in it.
Is wanker that bad?
Well, no, but that's it. But I said you're a wind-up merchant, and whoever did the clothes.
Wind-up
wanker.
merchant.
I was like, I
Oh.
definitely.
So we're going to go with that.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm
When
going to
you
try
see
and
the
share
video-
this
It's probably
screen.
funny. I wish I'd said that.
Yeah. I'm going to try and share this again.
It
see if
sounds
it
like
works.
Winker.
It does. It does.
It does.
Why don't you
Whatever, yo.
enunciate, Hursty? All right.
Maybe I did. I
we're-
blacked out.
We're
I
going
don't
to
know.
try and watch this video. Stick with
Watch
us. We'll be right back.
Wind up
with more
merchant
United
was probably
Sessions.
one of the 7 insults you hurled at me that day.
All right. We're going to try and watch this video, everybody. Here we go.
Wind up merchant.
Shut up. Are they really? Is it really? Oh, hell yeah.
What's up, New Mexico United family? Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. First off, I know we're excited for the 2023 season. We've got a special announcement for you here today. Without further ado, New Mexico United's opponent, founded in 1879. You might know them from the Netflix series, Sunderland AFC. Chris, how do you see the black and yellow matching up with Sunderland?
Sunderland? In 1879?
How do you see us matching up with Sunderland?
What are you on about? Shut up. Are they really? Is it really? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
No, serious.
Oh, you little wind-up merchant. I don't know. I'm going to be a real fanboy that day. You're going to be embarrassed, mate. Yeah, look at that, man. I'm just standing here. Actually, it's gone 125, and I'm standing here doing nothing.
All right. He's a wind-up merchant. He's not a wanker.
Is a wind up merchant related to Natalie Merchant?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now I understand it.
So Rusty says meat pies in the Northeast are awesome.
Good to know.
I've not been to the Northeast of
Greg's.
England.
Got to get to Greg's.
Every time I've gone to the UK, I've gone to London, and that's it.
Because that was the problem. He was like, "Where should I go?" So thank you for the suggestion.
Oh,
Just
you
narrow
want
it
to go
down
back?
for it.
Yeah, Google it. You'll know what I mean.
Robert Romero says, "Do they put chili in meat pies?" I'm not sure if they do, but they should.
Yeah.
Although Hursty, I think you'll back me up on this. The English don't necessarily have the stomach for green chili that much. You think?
I don't know. I mean, my parents love it.
Yeah?
My mom takes back a suitcase full of tins of green chili, you know?
Is that
I'm not
allowed
sure.
by
Is that-
customs?
is that-
Did he just rat out his own
I was going
mom?
to say, is that allowed?
That is. I don't know if that's like.
Scratch that. Let's edit that.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're not live.
cut that out, Jay Scribe.
I wonder if that is like an issue with like Food and Drug Administration or agriculture.
Let's not test him.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we're
Let's
just
just move
every
on.
every single thing we say becomes a new Google keyword.
All right, time for another stupid silly game.
Yep.
As always, Lucas Cash has put together our stupid silly game for the day. Lucas, what is our game called today?
Today is
You are making up the game right now. I
no.
can hear you.
It's very similar
Okay.
to past formats where I do a lot of work on the questions. I don't do a lot of work on
the
the
title.
name.
Okay.
Right. So let's just call this one Sunderland versus Tottenham. But here's the twist on
That's
it.
a stupid name.
Yeah, here's the twist on it. Tyler has to answer the Sunderland
Cats and
questions.
cocks.
Wow.
It's a bird.
Bust out the E.
It's a bird.
Again.
It's a bird.
All right. Hurst is going to answer the rooster questions.
Oh no.
And Ortega's going to answer the black cat questions.
Before we
I know
get
you
to
hate
that,
the Spurs, so I can answer all those if you'd like that.
if you
I'm
want
here for you.
I'll do the Sunderland questions. You do the Tottenham questions. We got a good question here. I want to get to it before we start. Came in from Andrew. What should Sunderland fans expect if they come over, and what is the match day experience like? And I'm going to leave that for anybody in the room.
I'm going to go first. Nothing you would have expected out of the land of enchantment, a desert in the southwest of the United States that has really just become a culture of soccer, a community that's built around this, right? The team has never been about soccer, and you really feel that come through that, yeah, we're here to cheer. We want everyone to do great. But beyond that, like, we're all here because we're looking for a better New Mexico. So yeah, it's amped. That's really the only like one word description I could use for it.
I think the first thing that came to my mind when you asked that question was it's a 2-hour party. You know, it's just a nonstop. The energy levels are high for 2 straight hours from kickoff and until the fans leave out of the gates of the lab. And yeah, like Lukas said, you just wouldn't expect to find it here. And I think
It's like an
that's
oasis.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Hursty, as the only person who's been to both a Sunderland match and a New Mexico United match, your thoughts on that question?
Oh, I mean, it's different, right? I think a lot of golly, how am I not going to get in trouble saying that? So a lot of, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of clubs try and force like an atmosphere or force something, and this isn't forced. It just happens, you know, like New Mexican fans are just a bit mad and it makes for a great atmosphere.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, and they're really passionate. Passionate would have been a better word.
There you go.
But you know
I
what
love
I mean? Yeah.
You
So,
can't
yeah.
manufacture madness. You
Yeah,
heard it
right.
here.
I love that.
That's fair.
No, I think that's great. And I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's Lukas, to your point, it's a community that's built itself around the game, but not because of the game, right? Because of an effort to want to improve the community. And when you build your community through the game, it becomes intrinsically part of who you are.
Right.
And
And
I
that's
love
what
that.
we're seeing. That I mean, like I loved the friendly atmosphere in general yesterday. I loved how many kids were just finding a
Yeah.
place to go and kick a ball. They were just kicking it back and forth. A couple of them got in trouble for getting back in an area they shouldn't have been in, but you got to love them for doing it. Like it's beautiful to see how much this game is becoming a part of the state.
Amen. All right. Speaking of games, let's play.
Stupid silly game
So
time.
real quick, format wise, one of the things we talked about, I'm going to be asking Sunderland questions. Lukas is going to be asking Tottenham questions.
Correct.
These questions are each to each of you. If Tyler, you answer a Sunderland question correctly first before Hursty can, you
2
get
points.
2 points. If you answer a Sunderland question right, Hursty, you get
Oh,
1.
I get you.
And
Okay.
vice versa. Hursty, if you get a Tottenham question before Tyler can answer it,
Oh
2
my
points for you.
goodness.
1
This is gonna
point
be
for you.
embarrassing, isn't it?
Wow. This is going to be really bad.
Why it's going to be really bad is because I don't have a writing utensil.
I do.
and that-
Would you like
oh,
one?
Dave's good to go.
I got it. I'm
We got
keeping
Linnea
score.
back there.
I'm keeping score.
Linnea hasn't hardly done.
All right. So the
she can
first
keep
question is
score.
going to be from Lukas. It is a
Linnea's here?
Tottenham Hotspur question. It's for both of you. Whoever answers it first correctly will get either 2 points for you, Hursty, or 1 point for you, Tyler.
Are we ready?
Yep.
No.
In which year was Tottenham formed?
1882.
Correct.
All right. 1 point for Tyler. That's a point for TL. First Sunderland question. 1 point for you, Hursty, or 2 points for you, Tyler. You got to be quick on this one. You ready?
Clearly.
What is Sunderland's nickname?
Black Cat.
Thank you. 1 for Hursty.
The Red and White
Wow.
Wizards.
Well, at least I got one right.
Yeah, you got the correct answer first.
All right.
For what it's worth, up until today, I've never heard them called as the Black Cats. I've only heard him
Look at
refer
the-
to them.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I've
And
only
look at the
heard
crest.
him
Look at the crest.
refer to them as the Red and White Wizards. So
I mean, it's kind of like,
It's a niche.
yeah, like so for Arsenal, right? We're the Gunners, but they say the boys in red and white. Like there's multiple things,
game is cheating.
Variety is the spice of
I
life.
know you got it. You were correct. You just weren't correct
Fair
first.
enough.
All right. 1-1 is the score. Lukas.
Next Tottenham question. Who was Tottenham's first manager in their history?
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's a great question. I'm going to say the great Sir Bill Nicholson.
Incorrect.
I don't know.
It's actually Jack Nicholson. Sorry.
First one I remember is Ozzy Ardiles, and that's definitely not the first one. So yeah,
Frank Britell.
Yeah.
never heard of him.
Couldn't
No
have
one
told
knows
you
who that is. No one knows who that is. Wow.
1882.
All right. Sunderland question.
Aren't you the president of the local Tottenham supporters group?
I didn't have to pass a test for that.
But I'm saying, shouldn't they impeach you as a result? It's like a basic civics test.
no, as long as we send them a check every year, they
Tio.
keep the official status next to us.
I don't know who the first Arsenal manager was either. So there you go. All right.
It might have been Frank Britell.
Who was Sunderland's first manager in their history? Lucas, you made these difficult.
Some guy from Sunderland. 1 point.
That's a point for Hursty right there. He's not wrong. It is
Neil Warnock.
Neil's a great guy. We met him
Wow. I
when
love
Cardiff
Neil.
was here. He was great.
Can't attest to that.
Answer's Tom Watson. Has anybody ever heard of Tom Watson?
The golfer, but not the manager.
Tom Holland. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His first manager. Also wears red. All right. 1-1 is the score, Lucas.
Are they all going to be like this? Because I might need another drink.
Yeah. This
I just need you guys to know I know very little about history, so I didn't know what was the appropriate level of
That's fair.
difficulty.
That's fair. Well,
Like,
you went from really easy to really difficult in 2 questions. So here we go.
when did Tottenham first win the league title?
Never.
Good lord. That's a great question. Let's say 1912. I don't know.
It's a decent answer. You want to just take a shot in the dark?
I'm going to say 1911 then, because you seemed like you were really excited about that.
No, it wasn't 1950.
You know-
1950. I was thinking 54.
Did
but-
you know that there is a team that has won the league at White Hart Lane?
Oh, who's that, Dave?
We won the league at White Hart Lane. Come on, you Gunners. All right, so the score is 1-1. Third question here, third Sunderland question. Which team is generally regarded as Sunderland's bitter rival? Of
Newcastle.
theirs? There it is. A point. We are kind of all over here.
Can they all be like that?
Hursty's up 2-1. 2-1 is
Hey,
the
that's how
score.
much we normally beat Newcastle by. 2-1. There we go.
You told me I couldn't really reveal this, but I think now's an okay time to reveal it.
I am terrified by what you're about
The
to say.
whole idea was I wanted Tyler to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked
For
about this.
sure.
Initially, Lucas was going to make this all Sunderland questions, and Tyler was going to lose like 30-0. And I said, that's not very nice.
And then you said, give him some Tottenham questions.
Yes.
And I picked the hardest ones
Yes,
I
you
could
did.
find.
Yes, there you go. All right, here you go. Next Tottenham question.
Who was the Rocket?
I don't know.
Ronnie. Oh.
Rocket Richard is
Rosenthal? Rosenthal?
Is it 2 points? 2 points. Let's go, Hursty.
Rocket Ismail, Cowboys receiver.
Ronnie Rosenthal.
How am I supposed to know
Rocky,
that?
Rocky, Rocky,
Chris
Rock
knew it.
Castle.
Well, yeah. How? When did that guy play?
That's-
when-
90s?
thank
90s,
you.
I think.
That is 2 points for Hursty. He's up 4-1. 4-1.
Got it.
This game is cheating.
All right. Tyler, to get yourself back in it, this is a 2-pointer for you. Again, Sunderland question. What is the name of Sunderland's male mascot?
Samson.
Samson is correct. Hursty goes
How did
to
you not
5. All right.
Bonus question. What's the ladies?
Delilah.
Yeah.
It's 5-1. It's 5-1 right now. Lucas.
Mercy rule.
No. So here's the thing. Here's what we're doing. We have how many more Tottenham questions? One
One more.
and one more Sunderland question, which could get you a maximum of 3 points, which would still leave you behind 5-4.
So
But-
you would still lose,
But
but
there is a tiebreaker question, and if you are within 3 points, the tiebreaker is worth 3
Okay.
points.
all right.
Ooh.
It's hilarious.
I don't like his odds.
Yeah, no, I don't either, because this question's going to be very difficult.
Oh my goodness.
Spurs legends Chris Waddle.
Yeah.
Spurs Legends is an oxymoron.
Chris Waddle and Glenn Hoddle assaulted the music charts in the 1980s.
Assaulted? Why did they assault them?
That's how the question is written.
Okay, you wrote it.
What was the name of their hit single? The hit single of Chris Waddle and Glenn Hoddle.
Diamond Night.
How? Diamond Nights?
That's what
He fed you the answer and you still got
I
it
told you
wrong.
the answer, and you still got it wrong.
I couldn't hear because I had the headset still in one ear while you were talking.
Oh, it's Diamond Lights.
That's what I said.
That's what he
Kirsty, I
said.
was just hoping there would be something cultural that
Diamond
you had
Lights.
just seen it and you just knew it instantly.
Diamond Lights, mate.
But as soon as you said Chris Waddle, he played for Newcastle and he played for Sunderland as well. So I thought that's the direction you were going. And then as soon as
You're
you
giving
mentioned
Lucas
Glenn
way too
Hoddle,
much
I was
credit.
like, huh.
Giving
All
Lucas
right.
way. All right,
Have
so
you seen the rest of these questions?
No.
So
Have you
5 to
seen
1.
any modicum of sophistication?
5 to 1 is the score.
I still got the answer before Chris did. He never said Diamond Lights.
He's not wrong.
I would just like
2
to say
points
that.
for our Tyler.
Wow.
The score is 5 to 3 now.
He doesn't get 2 points for Tottenham.
Oh yeah, 5 to 2. 5 to
Gutted.
2.
Gutted.
All right, the final Sunderland question, worth 2 points for you, Tyler, could get you within.
A point of losing.
Well, if neither of you get this, you're within 3 points. You would go to the tiebreaker. All right, what was Sunderland's name when they were first formed?
Oh my goodness. It was like Sunderland Tuesday.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
Right next to Sheffield Wednesday, right?
It was something like that.
You're
Manchester
incorrect.
Monday.
You want to give it a guess?
I
There's no
genuinely
way he
have no
gets this.
idea.
Sunderland and District Teachers AFC.
Oh no. Well, I was way off.
I
Do you
read
even
that the
like
other
your
day when
team?
we were talking
Apparently
about
not.
it. Don't
Have you ever
remember that.
even read their Wikipedia page?
All right, so you are within 3 points, which means there's a
Wait,
3
wait,
point.
wait. He's within 3 points after you gave him the answer, which he still said wrong.
Correct.
But then said it right.
And
after.
then I
Okay,
gave him the
yeah,
point
okay.
for it.
So we're
Yes.
gonna go to the tiebreaker, so I can tie you and need
Hey,
another
hey.
tiebreaker.
Oh no! If you tie,
Get
it's
your
just
own
gonna be
podcast.
it's gonna be a draw.
You don't like the rules? Get your own, pal.
Fair
You don't
love
like the
this.
rules that we're making up as we go.
Yeah, fair enough. I should
All
know all this shit, clearly.
So one. All right, here's your tiebreaker. One New Mexico United player has played a match against a Sunderland United affiliated team. Who is that player?
Sunderland United.
So excuse me, Sunderland. I apologize. Sunderland AFC. One New Mexico United player has played a match against a Sunderland AFC affiliated team. Who is that player?
I don't know if they had any affiliates. Who are their affiliates?
Like it could be Academy.
Chris Hurst.
You can't just say answers, Lucas. You're
So
not,
it's got to be Daniel Brewston, right?
okay. Is that your guess? Each of you can put in one guess.
I said Chris Hurst, by the way.
You're not playing,
Not Greg.
Lucas.
I was saying Chris, our guest.
Oh,
Clearly, who's not playing.
Greg Hurst.
yeah. I'll go the other Hursty. I'll say Greg.
You're both incorrect.
All right.
Ha!
Will Seymour
Ah.
played one match against Sunderland AFC Academy when he was a youngin.
Oh,
So there you
Seymour.
go.
there you
All
go.
right.
That means the winner, Sunderland AFC's own Chris Hurst. Congratulations!
it's been a
sir.
day of winning for Chris.
Congratulations to Chris Hurst. Probably the best part of his day right now. Nothing else could be better.
Clearly.
Well done. Well done, man.
Well, thank you for hopping in with us. Thank you, fans, both of New Mexico United and of Sunderland AFC, for hanging out with us. We got something to show you before we call it a day here. I'm going to pass it over to Lucas over the camera here. All right. We always are shills with the merch here. We have great merchandise, people. Great new jacket just came out. Going to be available for the first time at our preseason match in person this Saturday. Lucas is very expertly modeling this. Also available online right now. It is the Somos Puffer. Somos Puffer. A really great jacket. Got the stitched patch on the sleeve and stitched patch on the left breast. Really great warm piece. Joe was wearing it at the match this past Sunday, but it'll be available again at the preseason match on Saturday and is available at shop.newmexicoutd.com.
It's not a fair comparison to say Joe looked fantastic in it because he looks fantastic in everything.
Yeah, man's got a
but,
Lego headpiece.
Man, he looked great in this one. All right,
looks
Hurst,
terrific.
Hursty's the champion.
Looks
so
terrific
he
all the
gets, he looks terrific all the time. Hursty's the champion. He gets shout out privileges first.
Yeah, quick shout out to whoever you want to give a shout out to.
Well, I know my family's watching, so and they get to have a lovely family vacation to the beautiful town of San Antonio
It's one of your favorites, I've heard.
to watch the Red and White Wizards.
There you
So
go.
love you guys.
Don't
Yeah.
count San Antonio out, man. It's beautiful.
All right.
Riverwalk. Let's go.
Tyler?
Shout out to my grandma.
Oh,
yes.
What up?
Shout out to my grandma Rosalie.
She's awesome.
And I made it. Your boy's gonna be broadcasting back to the UK. So
Go on.
shout out.
All that support, Rosalie.
Love
Paid
that.
off.
Well, thank you again, everybody, for hanging out with us. We will be back next week with another exciting episode of United Sessions. Exciting is kind of a relative term. I like to think it's exciting.
It's
but
exciting for our parents.
yeah, I like that. My mom
Yeah.
tunes in every week. Love you, Mom. Hursty, Tyler, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week, Lucas. But until then, Somos Unidos.
We are united.